Hello. Welcome to the last likely episode of Chronicles. We are here to press this fellow and try to examine what was in the kimono. Yeah, one of brought with him when he was locked up. He has a kimono. Yes, he was permitted to have his personal effects even during his assassination. I understand. It appears so. That's right, he was granted as much freedom as possible during the few days before his execution. Indeed, he had numbered of items of personal significance, I remember. I was very reluctant to part with them. Some books, the kimono, his sword. His sword? Karma, the famous sword of Mr. Solomon. Bears the soul of my friend. I don't doubt it. Could it be? Had it been the soul of the clan, could that man have more obvious weapon? Some respect, Ryunosuke. Respectfully silence. Rather it's a clarifying at all times, so the inmates have sharpers around their ankles. I have heard anybody with that thing. Yeah, oh my god, sorry, I was so confused. What the fuck? Sorry, my brain was processing something else. Anyway, yeah, I was like, what the fuck? The fact that you allow him to keep the sword is impressive. I was like, what? Wait, okay, I know you have guns. He's a fucking Japanese swordman. He's a fucking warrior. Still, he's allowed to a sword but no fighting materials. That's possible. Aye. We wrote that Will before he came stay with us at Barclay, you see. I think where he hid the paper. I think he's in the sword handle. Mikadoba was asked, sorry, spoiler, I'm sorry. I was asked to write it as a Japanese writing commission. Suturi ink, stone black, sumi ink, and some hashi rice papers, no doubt. I was present when he wrote this. I'm sorry to say the letters. Is that right? Little muscle check. Excuse me! Yes, I'm feeling quite faint, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, again, Jesus Christ, it's so fucking hard in here. Mr. Vigil, god damn it! What was Scarlet, sir? Nandeste? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Didn't mean to blurt it out like that. Less weighing and more explaining will be helpful. There's something about the testimony we just heard. Have you recalled something of importance? Something of importance, possibly or possibly not. I don't know which way it was, I'm afraid. What was Scarlet? Scarlet Witch? The fans asked the Mr. Vigil be puppet to super amazing. Whether it's possibly or possibly not important detail. Thank you. I hate my job. Permission granted. Go ahead, Mr. It was like, permission granted. It was Scarlet.
Objection!
Scarlet color right is what you said to... What you said you thought you saw, Mr. Vigil. And I believe exactly what you did see. So I remember if on the autopsy report there was some ink on it. But, okay. Why couldn't? Have it again, you know evidence to say that. Have you looked at this report? That's my brother's autopsy report. Yes, there's something here that's bothered me since I first read it. It states that the scarlet color ink stains were noted on the fingers of the victim's right hand. Yes, so it does. No. Scarlet ink. No way. I'm not familiar with the habits of the British aristocracy, I freely admit it. But who has a guess that they don't all go around with ink stains on their fingerprints, do they? The way it is not appreciated. My brother was a well-bred and fastidious man. Should ink have sullied his fingertips, he will have cleaned them immediately. What is your point, Counsel? My point is this. Whatever Lord Clint Van Zysk was writing, that unusually colored ink, must have been directly before his death. Because he died before he had the opportunity to clean his hand. What? I remember something troubled me at the time. At the scene, the lid of my brother's inkwell was open. Clint was punctilious? Punctilious? Words. Words? Oh my god. About such thing, it seems unusual. And no document pen in the color of the ink that was in the inkwell was ever found. So the document had disappeared. Are you suggesting the document my father had in his hand that night in his cell was the same document that Lord Clint Van Zysk was writing moments before his death? Then it was. If Mr. Vigel's testimony is to believe, it can only mean that yes. Mr. Vigel? Sire? When you spotted Mr. Asogi with the document in his cell, his precise words were the false, were they not? Alright then. What's on the paper? What's on the paper? What's on the paper? Okay, we already got it. I'm gonna skip that. Our last will of Stanley. If the conversation really did go as Mr. Vigel says, then what we know completely changed the meaning of what Mr. Asogi has said. You really think? I think the truth is gonna be very painful. Mr. Vigel did indeed seek the conflict with a will, but it wasn't that of Genshi Asogi. It was the last will testament of Lord Clint Van Zysk. What?
Objection!
This is madness. My brother's last will and testament. That would mean that he had chosen to die. That is what it will mean. Yes. No. Impossible. It's totally out of the question. No, that's it. Could it be he? The P? Kane was pursuing the professor, consuming him day and night. Whatever happened, he will never have abandoned his investigation before its conclusion. Never! He would rest until the job was done, until the killer was caught. The idea that he will willingly accept his own death is obscene. And yet, we can be sure that he was writing his will a moment before his death. That Genshi Asogi came into possession of that document. So what would it be possibly have contained? Clearly something that could have been made public under any couldn't be made in public under any circumstance whatsoever. Because with that document my father was able to negotiate it with the judiciary for his life. It was something so damning that it prompted the powers that be enacted the daring jailbreak plot. That jailbreak. As there can be no question that the will contain information of the utmost secrecy. Information of the utmost secrecy. No, it couldn't be. Yeah. Don't realize what's happening there. But more than enough. Between these no-trail founder will nobody can attest to having seen serves absolutely no.
Objection!
No, my lord. That's unacceptable. What did you say, Counsel? The last will and testament that Genshi Asogi had in his possession was that of Lord Van Zysk. All the testimony evidence presented to the court has logically led us to that as our possibility of a duty to pursue the line of reasoning to this conclusion. With no possible meaning of knowing the contents of the document, there is no line of reasoning to pursue. I think he realized that too. Must have realized that. The reason why Lord Clint Van Zysk, a man of high noble standing, would have chosen death. Information so secret, people in the judiciary will be willing to negotiate the jailbreak of a condemned killer. The only explanation that fits those facts is the particular truth that turns absolutely everything on its head. But just to hear this, Mr. Naruhodo, however difficult the situation might become, you were with your kind in pursuit of the truth. That's what you were sought to do when courtroom this morning, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Saturday. So hold your head high and keep soldiering on. Fuck, guys! Yes, you're right. Fuck, guys! He did say, what this thing when Asagi said, that he took the life of someone. He took the life of someone. He's only guilty of taking a life of one single person. 10 years ago, his final moment locating Van Zisk behind a will. A will that Genshi Asagi was able to use as a weapon to negotiate his escape from prison. In all probability, details in the will were related to the professor case. The defense last statement is mere conjecture. What are you getting at, man? Yosuke? As soon as these words come out of my mouth, there's no going back. I believe last will of Lord King Van Zisk was in fact a confession. Yes, I think it is what it is. You can do this, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe that what Lord King Van Zisk actually penned that day was a confession. A confession? Regarding the mass murder known as the Professor. And his true identity.
Objection!
Enough, counsel. What are you saying? Do you even realize? A confession about the true identity of the Professor? That would mean... Lord Van Zisk, I appreciate this must be hard to take in. But it's the only explanation that fits. The killer that terrorized London a decade ago and became known as the Professor. The man believed to have murdered 5 members of the aristocracy. Wasn't Genshi Asagi at all. No, you can't be suggesting. He was in fact the man believed to be the 5th victim. Lord King Van Zisk himself. It's finally open, is it? Pandora box. The great Van Zisk family, they've been true breeders of British judiciary for years. Lord King Van Zisk, he was paragon of justice in the capital. But he was actually a mass murderer, perpetrator of an atrocity of the finest nature. If the general party ever found out, overall the country would be finished. My brother. So poor Van Zisk. I wonder though, he never suspected. He said no. Well, Paragon 6 is a brilliant prosecutor. It is conceivable that he didn't realize what his older brother really was. Order in court. Lord Van Zisk. The professor made use of an enormous hound as his murder weapon. Tell me, did your brother own a dog? Yes, he did. Balmung was a well-known hunting dog. People called him a giant. I don't believe this. When my brother would go hunting in the forest of the grounds behind the house, he always took Balmung. After the killing's death, the creature passed away too. Almost I feel we were following his master. It was a magnificent hunting dog, worthy of the jewel-stewed collar around his neck. A jewel-stewed collar? Let's see, the one that was stolen by the guy, I don't remember his name. That's right, it was Saturday. Some years ago now, it was stolen by a thief who broke into the house in the night. And the jewel-stewed collar stolen by a thief. It so happens that myself and my colleagues have come across to such collar during our time in London. How cold you. There was an emblem attached to the collar, so we made of pure gold. Pure gold. There it is. It was starred with a small crown and bore an own capital B. What envelope buried the initial B? You know it. It's the insignia of the Baskerville family. What? The Baskerville? Is that name coming up now? Baskerville is the family name of my late brother's widow. The pure gold emblem was a heirloom which Clint acquired upon their marriage. And we don't doubt that. The color you described was balmint. I'm insignia of Lord Clint Van Zisk with her. There was a considerable amount of blood on the collar when we saw it. We know the dog was used for hunting. It could have been from his quarry, of course. But it could have equally have been from human prey. It's true. It's easy to use, Professor. Possible! The Japanese are making all these exonerate their own! So in fact, the person responsible for these murders, Vanabas Royal, was a noble himself. That threatened to be an enormous scandal that would irrevocably destabilize the British society. My father knew that. It was easy to negotiate his way out of the unjust charge put against him at the very last hour. That he bargained with betrayed him, staying him mercilessly, mercilessly on the frontier. Well, can you deny it, Lord Strongheart? 10 years have passed. And still now the 6 million inhabitants of our great capital rest easy, believing that justice was done. That all his anonymity remains, the diabolical murder was caught and executed. Very well then, you may have the truth. Tell me then. Tell me what Clint really was. Lord King Van Zisk was too pure of heart. When he became a prosecutor and went into pursuit of the black roots of crime, he drove himself in a corner. He came to the uncomfortable realization that to fight the most fiendish of criminals requires one to become even more fiendish oneself. The 19th century was truly a miraculous 100 years for Great Britain, indeed the whole world. New industry, new technology, and with the birth of the Metropolitan Police Service, new law and order. But these dazzling new developments and ever deeper shadows were cast on society. Water sullied by factories, air thick with noxious fumes and crime, growing daily to fields of darkness. Lord Clint Van Zisk made his mission to combat our darkness. But the time went on, he slowly ate his soul, till eventually he was consumed. He became what he swore to be. The ironic, really, and somehow surprising, that the truth has once again been unearthed. By Japanese. Once again? What do you mean? 10 years ago, your father, Kenshi Asogi, turned up at my office one night. Professor? Yes, beyond all shadow of doubt. You must issue a warrant search of his home at once. That'd be absurd. The man comes from one of our country's most illustrious families. He's a paragon of justice here in the country. Yes, that's the point. That's why none of you British can see it. He's using his noble status as a diversion when he commits these atrocious crimes behind the scenes. You have evidence? Nothing definitely as yet. He keeps an enormous savage hound on the state. We need the full support of the judiciary for this. We're up against a member of the aristocracy. So large family state has a fierce guard dog. Should know that's a commonplace here in Britain. I'm sorry. I can possibly put Scotland Yard onto these based on the teenage accusation of a visiting student. So I turned down Asogi. As a result, he took it upon himself to visit the Van Zisk's mansion of his own. We can only imagine how that happened between the two men. Though we know the outcome, of course. Lord Clint Van Zisk perished. I don't believe it is. So, in actual fact, Kazuma-sama father did. He made the late Lord Van Zisk meet the same fate. Put a permanent end to the professor's killings. By taking the drastic measure of ending the perpetrator's life. As soon as I hurried to the mansion. When I arrived, it was easy to grasp what had happened. What about the will? Soggy must have already taken it. Nothing of that nature was found at the scene. I had no idea of the existence of such document at the time. I was the only person who knew of the true identity of the professor. So, I resolved to keep it a secret and to guard the secret to the bitter end. So you're admitting to it, as you were behind it all? It was you then, who pinned the crimes on my father. I did what I needed to be done in order to protect the law and order of the British Empire. Even if that meant employing unforgivable ruse. And it was you who arranged this fabricated evidence. I ordered the detective to take care of it, while he's keeping the truth from him, naturally. Gregson. Obviously, he opposed me at first. Are you off your rocker? You can't do something like that. There's no question that he was a Soggy who murdered Lord Van Zixers. The old staff have made statement that they saw the man running from the mansion that night. Yes, well, I've no doubt he was the Japanese fella. We haven't got a shred of conclusive evidence against the man. And worse than that, he doesn't keep a dog, so we're short of a murder weapon to boot. We're short of time, Gregson. We must put a stop to this man rampage for the good of the country. We'll use whatever means necessary to make myself clear, detective. Blimey. So the night 10 years ago when I was attacked by those thugs in the back street, the Asian ring was taken. That was him, was it? It was Gregson and some hired help. The detective handed the stolen ring to Dr. Wilson, who refrained his discovery from the victim's stomach during the autopsy. In the light of that decisive evidence, Mr. Asogi was found guilty of the charge brought against him. However, behind the scenes, he had actually already struck a deal with his accusers, which he agreed to sign to accept the charges. I just don't believe that part. As far as I knew, that man, my father, despised such underhanded dealings. It was extremely easy to make him comply. You see, he had the one crippling weakness. What weakness? Isn't it obvious? You, Kazuma-so. You, Kazuma-so? Me? Perhaps you have no desire to return to your homeland, Soggy. What? Well, I hear you have a 14-year-old son. Agree to cooperate and accept your guilt without contention, and you will see Japan and your son again. You scoundrel! Whether you choose wisely or not, it will be a closed trial by order of Her Majesty. So whatever rash claims you might make in court, you have no trouble in stifling them. There's only one outcome for you, Asogi, the gallows. Don't forget that I still have a weapon at my disposal. A document revealing the truth. You're desperate to keep it hidden. Yes, it had escaped my mind. She's the only reason I'm willing to bargain with you. I only want to protect this country's law and order. You understand? So, what's this to be, Asogi? He did it for me. And as I told him at the time, my motive was simply to protect Britain from the damage the truth will do. To protect this country law and order at any cost.
Objection!
I've never dared let myself even consider the possibility until now. But in the light of all this, Treasury have to ask. The mastermind behind the reaper of the ballet. Was it you? Lord Mill Strongheart? A rather brilliant idea, wouldn't you say, Lord Baron Van Zix? Let the spirit of your late brother, that paragon of justice, should return to reap justice for his siblings. Could there be a more appetizing tale for London masses rescue? What? A prison? I knew that you played the part to perfection, but your role really wasn't that for some embodiment of death. No, you were London's guardian angel. An angel with blood hands, I think not. Those who had cooperated with me already were only too happy to participate in my plan. Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson. My minions worked tirelessly to ensure that the finger of the guilt could never counterrest me. All thanks to them that you were exalted as the demigod the Reaper became. But Dr. Wilson left Britain 4 years ago when he was invited to work in Japan. That's right, why kill him then? Failed to employ the several of his young protege after that. Daughter called his idea. Decided. So what with the execution of the professor and the subsequent reign of the Reapers of the Republic, successfully safeguarded law and the order in our mighty capital for the past decade. That is everything. Why killing Tobias? My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, I do hereby confess that I was sire of the concept of the Reaper. However, let me say in my defense, it was all of the preservation of law and order across the entire empire. No stronger did it. I forgive local action of crime, but still, those who died at the Reaper's hand were rotten to the core anyway. It was all the gatekeeping the confidence. There is no one left now who can reveal the precise truth of what happened 10 years ago. Therefore, this trial can go no further. Now, I would like to entertain all those present. Beyond these 4 walls, nobody need to know the truth. Even Her Majesty must be protected from this. Trust you appreciate the importance of my request. It is, of course, for the good of the country. Can you do this?
Hold it!
I have one last question. For the accused, Lord 6. What? Of course I know that you are a highly accomplished prosecutor. I find it hard to believe that you didn't have any doubts at all. That you never suspected my your older brother. Yes, the same thought occurred to me. It was only once, but yes, I couldn't say that I never had my doubts. My brother's sense of justice was extremely strong, perhaps too strong, I observed. At the time, there were members of the aristocracy who were bleeding the country dry for their own gain. Since they were nobles, they were untouchable. For my brother, it was a source of great turmoil. Coincidentally, at the same time, the professor began his terrifying reign. During the time of the professor killings, my brother did not appear to be himself. What made you suspect? Yes, but it was only once. Not more. Killing wasn't the culprit. That was my conclusion at the time. I still believe that now. Do you have any evidence to support that idea? That the victim was the Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who recognized my brother's potential and trained him as a prosecutor. No matter what the circumstances, it's until that my brother could have killed his friend and mentor. That will do. Neither Klein Van Zisk nor Genshin Asogi still walk in this heart. Earth, very much we debate this matter, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion. But there are only 2 extended pieces of evidence from the time. The we begun ring that acted as the incriminating evidence to condemn Genshin Asogi, the 3-page last will and testament penned in the black ink and left behind by the man. The wretched truth of what happened is exactly as I have explained. Later today I will present myself at the Ministry of Justice for whatever section is deemed appropriate. That is all. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Thank you, Katsuma. Me? Me? If it wasn't for you, I would have made this 11th hour discovery. What discovery? 11th hour? Is it really 11th hour? My lord, I'm afraid I must see the trial continues. I beg your pardon. I beg everyone else's pardon. As the court has been reminded today already, we must stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth. So that end one particular statement made by somebody in this courtroom moments ago. A very subtle contradiction. Very subtle. A contradiction. But all I did was to ask the accused one simple question. Well, it began with Lord Van Zisk and his recollection about his brother. But Lord Strongheart didn't permit the defendant to speak at length. He merely pointed out that we cannot drew further use of the conclusion here, so where on the earth is the contradiction? One of the definitely just say something contradictory at the time. Identify who? It was Lord Strongheart, I'm sure of it. Come on, just getting back all his word, find problems. Neither Klein Van Zisk nor Gashiasagi will walk into his word. However much debate is made, we cannot reach a conclusion. There are only to extend a piece of evidence from the time. The woe-begone ring acted as incriminating evidence to condemn Gashiasagi. The 3-page last will and testament penned in the black ink and left behind by the man. The confession! Lord Strongheart? Explain what, Counsel? Oh, the statement you made just a few moments ago. Something you said was inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence we have. Why he was so desperately trying to hide the confession of the professor, if he has nothing to do with it? Inconsistent? He had no reason to protect it. And will this inconsistency remain? The defense has a right to pursue an explanation. Ryunosuke, what? Let me warn you about the statement that you are making, Counsel. It will be very well proved fatal. You claim my words contain a contradiction? With which piece of evidence I ask you?
Take that!
This here will left by Mr. Sogi. The 2-paged will. What? Yeah, moments ago, your precise words were the 3-page last will and whatever. Could it be that originally there was a 3rd page? For a moment I thought perhaps you identify something worthwhile, but a mere trifle, I see. Trifle? Governor Kaiden? Eh? What can I do for you? The president when the Japanese man penned his last will. I was there for sure. I remember the black Burum like scroll to this day. And it's quite certain, my lord, that there was a 3rd page at the time. What? 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 The first 2 pages were the actual will, though. If I mind correctly, the 3rd was a message to his lad back in Japan. For legal purpose, we require only his will. And we wouldn't have had one that any uncomfortable words about a boot pretend to get back to Japan, eh? So it was decided that the 3rd page oughtn't to be sent.
Objection!
I never receive it. How dare you make that decision? I'd try to know what he said, to hear my father's final words to me. The courtroom is no place for sentimentality, Counsel. As it happens, the 3rd page on the document. You motherfucker! Hear now my father's message. It will be given to you at the end of these proceedings. It'll be too late once the trial is over. We need to know what he says now. If the slightest thing may give us a vital clue. My lord, the defense calls for Gashiasogi's last words to his son to be read out loud before the court now. The request is denied and inevitably maudlin words can be of no consequence.
Objection!
The prosecution agrees. The court should know the content of that message. The possible piece of evidence must be truly examined. I say, no! Very well then, Governor Kaiden. You will read the 3rd page of the document for all the present to hear. Yes, sir. Only I should point out, my lord, that I cannot actually read Japanese language. It's beautiful handwriting. Shame on you, Barry. Shame on you, Barry. Fellow will be assistants here. All happy to translate the words into English for the court. Father! You're still here, Dr. Mikotoma. Naturally, I consider myself a member of the judiciary, albeit a lowly one. But the rest is required to withdraw after I've translated the Gashi message. Cooperation is much appreciated. Damn. I feel like he's untouchable, man. Katsuma. The truth is shrouded in darkness. The darkness only our clan's great soul can pierce. Mighty Karuma, twist the head and watch them fall. All time mortal foes. That's the end of the message, I think. He basically told you what is the message. A Hakubai, twist thy hand. Father. What is it, Karuma? Remove the Asogi clan famous sword. Proud of fire blade known to all passed down to a generation about its Japanese spirit. It is not known to me. Sakana sword was submitted as evidence early in the proceedings. Unworn by the prosecution counsel when they confronted Inspector Gregson. I think he means twist the handle. Is empty usually. We updated the courtroom, thank you. These procrastinations are beginning to try my patience. Adjournment of this court is long overdue. The presiding judge have been as accommodating as possible of the will of the courtroom. However, despite all that, no new information has come to light. In pursuit of justice, Law King Vanzi's tragic loss of sense of morality. When he murdered his former mentor, clearly he was already devoid of his normal faculty.
Objection!
How dare you refuse to believe that of my brother? Too much time has passed, we cannot ever hope to know more than we do now. Especially since the alleged will that he penned in his final moments appear to have been lost forever. Well, Strongheart, you appear to be in something of a hurry to wrap things up. We've heard your statement time again during these proceedings. That everything you did was interested in protecting British law and order. Let's stand by it. Without a Ripper, we could never have achieved the reduction of crime to cover.
Objection!
What about Inspector Gregson? And Dr. Wilson? They were not criminals? You used them to achieve your ends and then you had them killed. Yeah, however you dressed it up, there was nothing fair or just about it. No Strongheart. What it says is that you were hiding. You are hiding. Dr. Mikotoma, were you not quite to withdraw after the translation of your former associate's will? In this courtroom, no argument carries weight unless it is supported by evidence. And it all seems that the defense has no more evidence to present. In which case, I actually have a big-ass evidence to present. I order this quote from the proceeding to be struck from the record. This is my last chance. Mr. Naruhodo. I have to present some of the evidence now. Present evidence. But can I? Yes, I can. Wait, my lord. As it happens, the defense does have evidence to present. Don't be absurd! There's nothing to evidence remaining.
Objection!
It's high time to realize something, my lord. This gentleman has an uncanny habit of producing evidence at the final hour. That had escaped everyone else's attention. Nonsense! What is it, Ryunosuke? What do you have? I dare say. The final decided piece of evidence will reveal the whole truth about this rotten tale. How can you? Decisive. Well, it really appears there's no escaping now, my lord. Let it be so. Present whatever you think you have. Take a set of this decadent old enigma, if you're capable. What exactly is this evidence? The defense claims. Give me the soul. Give me the soul. Give me the fucking soul. Give me the soul. Twisted! Mighty Caramon. Twist the head, watch them fall. Old time mortals foe. No way to use this order. Maybe I should try it. There's my neck. That's the trouble. Mr. O, if I might make a suggestion, I think perhaps it doesn't mean your head. Once I studied the history of the development of the katana some time ago. I'm sure you're probably aware that the sword head is about the very end of the hilt. Yeah, the hilt usually empty. Written hand, Japanese, kashira, I believe. Kashira? Kashira? So Mr. Sagi word really means twist the butt of the hilt. You don't think so? Yes. There it is. Look inside it. It's that it? The tiny wood of the shed of the parchment. Examine it, goddammit. Colored ink. It's written as colored ink. This apparently is my last will and testament, the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. This is it, isn't it? Mr. Rudo, look at the signature at hand. King Franciscus. But today, 10 years ago, the fateful day. So for 10 years it's been silently concealed inside karma, and nobody knew. Last will and testament of Lord King Franciscus. Wait, oh my goodness. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Do I need to examine it? Do I need to examine it or do I simply show it? I cannot show it, okay.
Take that!
There's a single piece of evidence that can clarify what really happened 10 years ago. The last will and testament Lord King Franciscus. Ha! Wonderful absurd observation, I'm sure. But in case I escape your notice, that document was lost long ago. Damn, papers back in the days. 10 years? That's right, it was. Only... I have it right here. Discovered just a moment ago. Well hidden. Impossible! That can be! Everything that's happened come back to his will. This document is the key that will unlock the entire mystery. Ah, he knows. He knows. My brother, last will and testament, where did you find that? It was all inside us. Yeah, it was the eager to give it a swing, so said Karuma. The ultimate weapon Kensha Soge obtained was laying undisturbed in the hilt of this sword all these years. Must wait for the right time to emerge and reveal the truth. You know, it still certainly looks official. God, it's true. My brother's handwriting cannot be mistaken. Forbid the content of that document from being read out. Do you hear me? I strictly forbid it. You can't do that. This document could explain that. The document could literally destroy the meaning of the justice of this country. The man that you handed to me at once. Why? What you're trying to hide? Could it be that you already know what's written on this page? What are you implying? Could he has journeyed with immediate fact clear to courtroom? Do that, my lord, and you will suffer the foul blow of lordship and justice. Beg your pardon? Forcibly ending a trial without good reason, and not ending trial or closed trial by order of Her Majesty the Queen. To defy the monarchical will is treason. Okay, but this really did kind of will that, eh? Is that the old Japanese man said? Read it out! No! I have a right to hear what there is one will, right? A duty! Well. Oh, my lord. We're right up here. The top processing aren't going to quite as you hope. You fools. Go ahead, just read it out. The prosecution, give it a full support. Please tell me you are going to read it. Very well then. I cannot bother to read it. No, for God's sake! No! I pen these, my last will and testament, in the final moment before my inevitable and willing death. The hour is 11 p.m. I sit at my writing desk in my office. My good friend Asagi stands at my shoulder. He has expressed his intent to invoke the dying ritual of the duel, and I may depart this word with honor, an honor of which I am utterly undeserving. The Japanese are truly merciful people. I, King Van Zisk, lord of the manor of the Van Zisk estate, here to confess to the following. I am the killer who has come to be known in society as the Professor, guilty of all counts of murder. I will not here discourse the corruption rife among aristocracy, which is to me as one of them so apparent. However, 6 months ago, I took the life of a member of the House of the Lords at the heart of the depravity. A demon who habitually sacrificed the common man to further his own interests, using his position of power. The law is impotent against of such vile avarice. We have how a demon can rid society of these menace. A demon was my quarry, upon whom I willingly set my great heart. But though I am a hunter of some experience, I am a poor felon, it seems. Someone survived. My guilt was at once recognized by another, and become subject to his extortion. He held over me the threat of exposing my wicked crime to my beloved wife and brother. Under that threat, I had done these men biding for months now, killing those he demanded I kill, as I watched my former mentor perish before my eyes at the jaws of the hound I commanded. I realized that I had lost the last shred of decency within me, and sunk to the level of a wild beast. There is no path back into the light, yet I, or my dear friend Asogi, who dies this night, am eternally dead. To my extortioner, Mill, Strongheart, may you feel the jaw of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. So now we know, yes, Clint Van Zysk was a murderer, or somebody was directing him and naming his victims. His extortioner, Law Miles Strongheart, was you. Oh, Strongheart, a moment ago, you claimed that what the Cold War had just heard could destroy the justice in this country. You weren't trying to protect justice at all. All you were trying to do was to conceal the secret of your true nature, the countless lives you sacrificed up until now. It just didn't make sense to me. That the victim, the former Lord Chief Justice, was my brother benefactor, a man of lofty principle. As I said, Clint had no possible reason to kill the man. But you did, didn't you, Long Strongheart? To eliminate the man who stood between you and the office you set your sights on. You used your own hunting dog, Lord Clint Van Zysk, to take him down. It had to be done. London's savory shadows are deep, and the hour the law fails to reach their deep. Crime must be cut off at the roots. The Lord Chief Justice at the time couldn't see that he was weak. Lofty principles, you say, tantamount to cowardice, if you ask me. Which is why I took his place. In order to fight the crime, he was allowed to spread like wildfire. By murdering the man? Terrible. Professor, name makes no difference. As I've explained countless times already, I was all done for the furtherance of the law and order.
Objection!
Are you going to legitimize the murder of my father now too? Kenshi Asogi. Oh, that was unfortunate. I'm fully intent to send him back to Japan, as we agreed. I don't believe you! It was you, wasn't it? You killed him. No, it wasn't me who took your father's life. Then who? On the night following his mock execution, I went to Logan Cemetery at the tree in the morning with Jikoku. Jikoku? There had to be a collaborator on the Japanese side to manage Asogi's treatment after his repatriation. Jikoku had a fierce ambition, made him easy to manipulate. 10 years ago, I at least stood his trial for destruction with a way to stand and words with him. When I told him the position of Minister for Foreign Affairs could be his, he couldn't agree fast enough. Seishira, fool! As you know, Asogi escaped the prison, enclosed casket was subsequently interred. Intended to dig him out of his grave before he ran out of air. But sadly... someone else discovered him. He was an unexpected visitor to the cemetery with his own ideas about digging up graves. A man who witnessed that nobody was supposed to see. No, Gripper? Of course I knew grave robbers frequented the lost cemetery, but that grave on that particular night. Last, if people find out the country wasn't really executed, This cannon will rock the very foundation of the Empire. Then what will we do? Shoot him! Mr. Jigoku, shoot Asagi at once! Can't leave now, this has happened. He has to go. What are you talking about? You had an agreement. You promised him that he could return to Japan. Everything has changed now. If the truth got out because of this, photo hours will be finished forever. Oh, Jigoku, do it! Pull the trigger! Shoot! Jigoku shot Asagi from the shadows. The grave robber was so close the blood sprayed over his coat. He fled as far as his leg would carry him. Then Jigoku and I put Asagi's body back in the grave from which he just emerged. When I later learned that the wax were modeler presence at the scene as well, I made her swear two things. Never to remove the professor's mask and never to speak of the events of that night. And with that, the secret was buried along with Asagi's corpse. So, now you know what really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night. Oh, Jigoku shot him? Shot your friend? Oh, God damn it. To be honest, I would have shoot Draper. I don't know if I'm an asshole, but...